Hello everybody and welcome back to Taking Back Comedy. Before we get started, yes, I'd like to state that I have been gone for a while. I am sorry. I've been pretty inconsistent with the last podcast and this one. There wasn't really much for me to really discuss, as I didn't really have any topics I really wanted to discuss that were enough to make a comedic podcast over. And instead, what it looks like is I'm going to be doing a different podcast every once in a while where I analyze serial killers. We're going to call it the Analyzing a Killer File podcast. And we're going to do those every Tuesday as well. And if I have a topic that I want to discuss, we'll do a Taking Back Comedy thing. But for a while, I hadn't had anything. And then whenever I say that, everything else has been happening. So, with that being said, I finally found a topic I really wanted to discuss. It's been boiling over for too long, and it's about time that I actually take it down. So this episode is going to be entitled Canceling the Culture. Okay? I want you to think about this for a moment. Who thought it was a good idea to cancel everything that we knew and loved over the smallest of situations? I mean, no, seriously. Think about it for a little bit. Who thought it was a good idea to say, wow, Aunt Jemima is a black woman, she's strong, she's powerful, but I don't like her on that box of fucking maple syrup. I gotta get rid of her. And the only way I can get rid of her is, well, I can't claim it's racist because she's a strong black woman. That's good representation. So what do? It represents a racist era. When did Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben get so bad to the point where we couldn't have those? I mean, seriously. Everything is being classified as racist and is being canceled all of a sudden. People are being canceled for old tweets that they've said in the past or old situations they've said in the past, unless you're a diehard Democrat, in which case, no, you're fine. But, everybody's being canceled every which way. Cereal's being canceled. Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben are being taken off the packages. The Eskimo Nebula is being changed from Eskimo Nebula to -3142A56. Now, I don't know if that's true. I'm just making up random numbers because that's exactly what they did. Okay? I mean, it's the same situation. You get rid of Eskimo Nebula, which has no racist connotations to it whatsoever. And I'll be the first to admit this. I'm Native American. I don't see any harm in the names Redskins or Eskimo Nebula. The Eskimos and the Inuit people, okay, the Inuit people, if you want to call them that, fine, by all means. They call themselves Eskimos, you dumbasses. Okay? It's not a racist term. You know what a racist term is? Nigger. That's a racist term. Used against black people for millions and millions of years. I know that it technically hasn't been millions of years, but thousands of years. That word was used to oppress black people. Just like Spics were used to oppress the Hispanic community. And Zipperhead and Gook for the Asian community. So on and so forth. Those are racial slurs, but that doesn't mean that you can't say them either. You got to say them in the right context. Saying the words themselves without calling anybody that is perfectly fine. Calling an Asian person a gook is racist. No matter how you spin it, it's racist. Even if you don't want to be a racist, that's racist. But yeah. They're changing the name of Eskimo Nebula, and the Washington Redskins are so appalled by the name, even though for years the name has been there. Nobody's given a shit. All of a sudden, we can't have the name of the Redskins. It's offensive. I'm still going to call it the Washington Redskins. I'm still going to call the Eskimo Nebula the Eskimo Nebula. You can't force me or convince me that the Washington football team is a good name change. Oh, we're only going to keep that name until we come up with a better one. You're not going to come up with a better one because by all accounts, you guys are drained from all sorts of livelihoods that you can't come up with a better name. And I'll tell you why. Every name that you could possibly conceive has a racial connotation to it that isn't just plain and simple football team. And it makes no sense. You know, people would attack the New England Patriots just because the name Patriots. You know, because people are so un-American right now. Patriots, the word Patriots would piss them off. I'm surprised New York Jets is still around at this point based on the connotation. But the New York Jets, that's horrible. You know, they're not even being like, they're being offensive to the Al-Qaeda people that were killed in the New York Jet explosions of 9/11. Blow it out your ass, you bunch of babies. When did we get so pussified and so uptight that we regressed to the 1950s? We are becoming Quakers again. Porn was bad. And for a while, we started to get used to it. Now, we're bringing it back to the point of how it was in the 50s. You cannot do sexy pictures. That is illegal. That is bad. No. Sexy women is bad. Sexy men, totally fine. But sexy women, no, can't have sexy women. If you show your jiggly bits and your little square down there, no. Can't have the box shown. What if it's in a bikini? Oh, bikinis! Are you trying to make fat people feel ashamed for themselves? Yes, a little bit. Yeah, kinda, because it's not a situation they can't fix. Hypoglycemia, whatever. You can still do things to fix the situation. It's called surgery. It's called working out. But no, you want to make fat people feel better for themselves. You don't tell them, okay, you don't look at them and say, you're perfect the way you are. Because then they're just going to keep doing it and cause health problems to themselves even more than they already are. What you do is you say, look, I understand that exercise is not the greatest thing of all time. Believe you me. But you got to do what you got to do to make yourself feel healthy. But I'm okay with being fat. Then okay, you're okay with diabetes and heart disease. By all means, do you. I'm not going to force you to do anything that you don't want to do. But just remember, you probably are going to die a lot sooner if you don't lose the weight. You know, and I'm not trying to be rude, but that's how it is. And it gets so bad that Adele gets attacked for losing weight. And well, she's just losing weight because it's the societal norms. No, the societal norms have switched. You know, a lot of people seem to forget that whenever the societal norms are the way that they are, nobody will admit that the societal norms will change, because those who are in charge of the societal norms, when they change, won't notice the change. We've regressed hardcore, and I mean that seriously. It's not okay to be racist towards black people. It wasn't back then either, in the 1950s to the 1960s, so on, where the civil rights movement was going on. But it happened, okay? Now, nobody's racist out in the open towards black people. Instead, it's reversed. There's white people people are being racist towards white people. And yes, you can be racist towards white people, because last time I checked, white people's a race. You know, they didn't just make that up on the spot like, oh, colors are no longer racist. Okay, well, that's the case, then black's not a race. I don't see color. I don't see age. Well, I do in certain contexts, obviously, because I'm not a pedophile, despite the fact that the left really wants to make people believe that pedophilia is a sexual orientation. No, pedophilia is not a sexual orientation. It's a mental sickness, and it's a crime. You know, I like to fuck little kids in the ass crack. Okay, cool. I hope you like prison, because you're going to get fucked in the ass crack there. I hope you like getting what you give out. Do you like receiving what you give out? Because poor old howdy, you're going to get it. But it's not wrong to fuck a kid. Yes, it is. It's called statutory rape. You know why? Child can't consent. A child can't consent. And don't give me that crap where it's like whatever they have, the maps. That's what they're calling themselves. Males attracted... I don't remember what it's called. Minor attracted people. That's what it's called. No, don't give me that crap. There is no such thing as a minor attracted person, okay? It's called a pedophile. And they're called dangerous, awful individuals who need help. You know what else is kind of boring to me is the fact that we're going to go out of our way to insinuate that there is a rape culture whenever there is not a rape culture. All rapists go to prison. Unless you're a female, then you don't go to prison. You know, because the only rape culture I see is towards men. If a woman gets raped and it's talked about, you know, then the man, whether he did it or not, any rape accusation that a woman gives, it always ends up like this. A woman accuses a man of rape. The man, guilty or innocent, goes to fucking prison and has their life ruined. But if a man, and this is a big if, because men that are abused, sexually assaulted, don't always come out with it. Okay? But those, and they lie too, but those that are being truthful, if they come out with it and they state that this woman has abused me sexually or physically, the same stuff happens all the time. And it's this. They always get the same excuse. Well, you just wanted it. Come on, you can't tell me that you didn't like it. No, rape is not fun no matter how you put it, and there is no such thing as a rape fantasy. So no, I don't fantasize about, yes, please don't, please, I don't want it. Oh God, stop. No, I don't fantasize that and jack off to it. No, that's fucking weird. And it's not my thing. There is no such thing as a rape fantasy. There's no such thing as anybody wanting to get raped. Roleplay wise or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't exist. But here's the kicker. Like I said, a man gets raped. You asked for it. It's all good. Why are you crying about it? You know you liked it. Come on, you know you enjoyed it. All that shit. If a man gets abused physically because the wife beats the crap out of him, then the man's a pussy. Man can't defend himself. The man's just a bitch and should learn how to fight. You know what? You can't stand up to a little lady? Some men probably can't. Some men probably do get their asses kicked by females because females know they can get away with that shit. Okay? And here's a bigger kicker with this whole cancel culture bullshit. We don't cancel the women that sexually abuse in Hollywood. You know, Alyssa Milano goes out of her way to even endorse Biden. Biden can't be wrong. Biden didn't do anything. But oh no, Trump has no evidence against him, and yet he's the rapist. Doesn't make any sense. You know, we've got more evidence on Joe Biden raping people than we do on Trump. So what's your big fucking deal? I don't care if he fucked a porn star or not. I could give two shits less. The man's gonna do what the man's gonna do, okay? That's not the point. That's neither here nor there. Here's the major point. Okay? We've gotten too far. Gotten too far with this cancel culture bullshit. To the point where we're harassing ourselves with the language that we're doing. We have regressed to 1984. Now, what we say can be detrimental to our health, okay? We end up being extremely in a state of pure detriment to our health. And it floors me. Because everything that we say can be taken out of context and can be switched around on us, okay? This is how I feel like this is what George Carlin was warning us about. The language has changed. Like he said, years ago there was such a thing as the thing called shell shock, which is what is turned into PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, that is what shell shock originally ended up being. And now we realize that anybody can have PTSD. Anybody can have post-traumatic stress disorder. Because the traumatic event has to be traumatic enough to cause a person to shut down mentally when it comes to anything. But the what pisses me off is language is being policed. Okay? All the words that they are trying to cancel now are words that we've had in place, but because they have a negative connotation to it, you can't say that. You can't say socialist anymore, and you can't compare it to a Nazi, even though Nazis were socialists. Let's go through the list. Nazis are no longer Nazis. They're conservative assholes and Trump supporters. That's the connotation there. You can't call a liberal a Nazi because obviously they're not Nazis. Liberals, you can't even say liberals anymore. You know what you have to call them? Socialist defenders. But you can only say it like that. You can never say socialist on the whole, though. If you say socialist, you're wrong. You can't say socialist. You have to say freedom supporter. Antifa, also bad. Can't say Antifa. So what do you got to call them? Fighters of freedom. You know what else you can't say? For a while you could say coronavirus. But now you can't even say coronavirus. You have to say COVID. And then they changed that. You can't even say COVID. You have to say CV. And now they're going to change it. You can't say bat flu, kung flu, Wuhan flu, Chinese flu. You can't say anything that makes it feel like it's bad or downplayed. You can't say that the deaths are a hoax and that they're added up differently and that all the deaths are skewed. You can't say the infection rate's skewed, even though the infection rate is skewed. You can't say that that most people that die from it is an anomaly because you can't say that it has a 0.06 chance of killing people because that's wrong. It's a deadly virus, and you can't call it the coronavirus. You have to call it the COVID-19. You know, they're trying to control our language. You say the wrong word, you end up going to the grammar gulag, basically. You can't call it rape. I like to call it unwilling hugging. So there's a lot of words you can't say. So I'm going to change the language like they are. Instead, we're not going to call their words anymore. We're not going to give them their satisfaction of changing the words for us. Let us change the words for them. Instead of saying that this person raped me, like I said, we'll call it this person unwillingly hugged me. I was an unwilling hugger recipient. Instead of saying rape victim. Instead of calling anybody a victim, just say this. Unwilling supporter of said designated defense against said designated crime. Don't say social justice warrior anymore. And you can't say SJW. Instead of saying that, call them what they really are. Pussies behind pink hats. Don't call a feminist. Call them what they truly are. Anti-freedom supporters. Or, my favorite, killers of male dreams. Don't say equality anymore. Say what it really means. We want more things over you. I know, it's a little bit longer, a little bit long-winded, but it gets the point across. It's very stern. I don't need to be subtle with my context. They're not subtle with their context. Might as well not be subtle with mine. So instead of all this stuff, we change the language, okay? In fact, why don't we just change the dynamic on the whole, okay? Because of how bad cancel culture has gotten. Let's change the dynamic on the whole anyway, okay? Here's what I'd like to see, because this is what I see happening in the future. This coronavirus is supposed to be all big, all bad, all dangerous, you know? And the riots, they're peaceful protesters. Can't call them rioters. Peaceful protesters. They're going to keep doing this shit up until November. Trying to get their way, trying to get their cities on their side so that way they can kill the masses of white people because white people are bad. You got to give us your homes. You got to give us everything. We deserve everything. We need our reparations because of what you've been doing to us. Oh yeah, then what have you been doing to the white people for the last fucking 4 years? Oh yeah, that's right. Treating them like how you were treated years ago. Not even you. You were the ancestors of the people of the civil rights movement. They know what was going on. They don't even support you. Okay? And it's even bad whenever Jesse Jackson's calling out the BLM movement. Okay? You know what the BLM movement stands for me? Bowels Lessened movement. Or a better way of looking at it is ballless man-childs. Because, you got the punk like the goddamn, what is it, Marquise Key, he calls himself Keys, but his name is Marquise Love. He lives in Portland, and he's the guy who did the soccer kick on the white guy who was sitting on the middle of the road on the phone with his wife, and he did the soccer kick so hard with the intent of killing the man. Find that fucker, arrest him, because that is criminal intent. I know Portland doesn't see it as that. They see it as fighting the system because he is a brave hero. I'm so proud of this black man standing up against this unarmed white man for something he did not do anything wrong to because they were blocking his way in his car. I am so proud of him for kicking this man in the head. Attempted murder is great. I love it whenever bad people in our minds, even though they're not really bad, are being assaulted. Yay for freedom. You know what I really want? I want people to go back to how it was, but I know it's not going to happen like that. So what we need to do is we need to realize the American dream is going to be dead for a while. And the truth is simple. This is the truth. This is how the world is going to be. This is how it's going to be. Okay? Once the election happens, the mail-in ballots are dismissed yet again, and people are allowed to go in and vote. And that's all taken care of. Then this is what really happens. Okay? When Trump wins, because we all need to go in there and get it voted and get him back in office for another 4 years. When he wins, because the whole fucking country does not want Biden to win, and nobody definitely wants Biden to win now that he's got stupid-ass Kamala Harris a part of his team. I don't know what Joe is thinking, because, he wasn't thinking, that's the thing. But not even the black community trusts Kamala Harris. That is the stupidest choice you could have had if you wanted black people on your side after your stupid "you ain't black" comments. Okay? But I digress. Joe's kind of an idiot, and they were playing him from the get-go. They wanted Kamala from the start because Kamala is a dumbass and easy to manipulate. She's the criminal mastermind behind several of her own people in her own community being locked away for small offenses while she sat in her little ivory towers and laughed. This is what will happen. Trump gets reelected, okay? And in the unlikely event that Joe Biden is elected, we're all doomed because Kamala Harris will be taking on the presidential spot, and it will all end in disaster. Our country probably will die, and we'll have to have another revolution. It's sad but true, but that's what's going to happen. Our freedoms are going to be repressed, and to the point where we're going to have to stand up. And I'm sorry, I refuse to have my freedoms opposed on. I remember the amendments, and I remember the freedom of speech, and this is my freedom of speech. I don't give a shit what YouTube says. I'm doing what I gotta do, and I don't give a fuck, because fuck you, YouTube. This is what needs to happen. You can't suppress my voice. I'm not saying anything that's illegal or wrong, so you can go fuck yourself. You can go get fucked in your wrinkled, dusty old pussy, Susan, because honestly, you're an idiot. And every time you attempt to stop somebody and suppress them from saying what they need to say, makes you look even stupider because you're fearful. You're fearful of the masses overturning you, turning against you and getting you out of your little savory, comfy little position where you have enough money to actually be comfy and happy. So suck my dick. No, never mind. I don't want you near my cock at all. I don't want you near anybody's cock, because what you're going to probably do is you're going to bite it off since you hate men. Why do you think you're so single and stupid? Anyway. Anyway, this is what it is. Trump gets reelected. Liberal man babies start crying more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And yes, for the first year of him being reelected, things gets intense. But with the BLM movement and stuff getting intense, the coronavirus, once Trump is reelected, will start to die down. Nobody will be talking about it because this whole ploy of how bad the pandemic is, even though not that many people are dying, is simple. It'll die down whenever Trump gets reelected because now they have no Trump card. BLM, though, will keep pressing the issue because they still believe that he's a racist president. Unfortunately, within I would say a couple months, BLM will also have no leg to stand on because by the time it's 2021, everything that they've attempted and tried will be over and done with, because by the time that January has rolled on and we realize that Trump is also reelected, then the simple news is this. They have no legs to stand on. They will be defeated, and most of them will probably just give up because honestly, they're going to want to go home and cry and eat their tubs of ice cream and shit. And I believe that wholeheartedly based on one notion, and one notion only. They're all whiny pussies. And if they realize that their voice was not heard because the majority is not on their side, then at this point, they're going to give up. What I fear, though, yes, I do fear Joe Biden winning. I do. Because I guarantee you it's going to be Kamala running most of it anyway. But what I fear mostly is this. I fear after the next 4 years if Trump wins, which is most likely going to happen, here's what I fear. I fear wholeheartedly of what this country is going to end up being if we get another Democrat or somebody else taking on the mantle in 2024. I am absolutely terrified. And make this be known. Make this be known. Play the presidential music. I need this to be heard. You know, at the mark of 27:30, we're going to play the national anthem. And I will make it known here and now. I don't have that much money. I don't care. I was raised from nothing. I live in my own little apartment. I do not give a shit. I, Justin Russell, the man of the man, the people among people, state here and now, when I turn 35 in 2028, I will literally go out of my way to 100% run for President of the United States. I don't care what it is. I'm putting my name in the ring right now. I will be running for president in 2028. There will be a lot of things that will change. My campaign slogan will change constantly because all the voices in my head will have several different approaches to it. Okay? But here's what it is. Here's what we're starting off with. America's great. Let's keep it great. I know it seems a little salty, a little too close and reminiscent of Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump, but hey, we got to start somewhere. We're going to keep that American tradition going. Keep the American tradition alive. We're going to make it strong. We're going to make it better. The military is going to have money. The military is going to be strong. It's going to not be needed because we're not going to look to get into war. But if war is necessary, we're going to go to war. We're going to fuck up everything. But we're going to look forward to the peace with North Korea and Russia. Because fuck you, you stupid liberals. What, do you want us to get into nuclear wars or do you want peace? Of course you want peace. You wanted peace because honestly you don't want to get into nuclear war. War scares you. But no. It's bad when Trump does it. Well, fuck you. We're going to have peace, whether you like it or not. You want war? I'll give you the war. I'll slam a nuclear bomb right up your ass like a suppository and watch you explode from the inside out. There's your war. I don't give a shit. I'm going to run for president. I'm going to make it good. If we get a Democrat in 2024, they can suck my cock because I will be the first person to run and destroy a Democrat without even trying. I'll just look at him and he'll cry like a little baby. You know why? Because Democrats only cry like little babies. Okay? And I'm not a conservative. If I have to run like a conservative, they can suck my cock. But that is it. I'm running for president. I'm going to make it great. One of the campaigns, we're going to knock the minimum wage down. Yeah, I know. It sounds a little weird. $15 an hour sounds great, comfy, too good to be true. But that's not true. $15 an hour makes the taxes go up, make the prices on food and everything else go up too. I'm not retarded. I know ethics and I know economics. Okay, this is how it goes. All right, and that is how the situation will be played out. We're gonna knock it down to how it should be. $7.25. Okay, they can work the wages up to get $15 an hour again within the recommended years that need to be. Okay, but $7.25 will knock the price of gas down, will knock the price of actual foods and whatnot down. Okay, we won't have to worry about a suppression of money. We won't have to worry about shortage in coins and whatnot. What we will have to worry about is the notion of what actually is going to happen. We're going to have to worry about the economy in the in-home. Not the foreign policy. Sure, we can have foreign policy. I like to keep my ears to the grindstone and actually hear what the foreign powers that be are saying. Except for Canada. Fuck Canada. They're a bunch of pussies and I don't like Justin Trudeau. He can go suck on a frozen icicle. Okay? But what you could do is you could go on from there and you can go to other countries. Fuck. We can go to France. We can talk to France. We can talk to New England. We can talk to all sorts of different stuff. Except for Germany. Fuck goddamn Chancellor fucking Angela Merkel. Okay? I don't like the people that be in power, but I'm willing to work with people as long as they're willing to work with me. We're going to make the economic crisis go and vanish. We're going to make everything better. And here's another thing that we're going to do. We're going to keep the illegals out and get them through the country legally like they should be. And here's my final pledge. We're going to move the spaceships into outer space. We're going to make our way to Pluto. I'm sorry. We're going to take everybody else and drop them off at different planets and go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I'm going to land on Pluto. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lay an American flag on the fucking face of Pluto. And I'm going to scream at the top of my lungs, even though nobody can hear me because I'm in the fucking vat of space. I'm going to scream out at the top of my lungs all sorts of stupid shit. And you know what that stupid shit's going to end up being? This. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to scream it out. I'm going to show the world my love. And we're going to have the time of our life as I become president of the United States. 2028. Justin Russell. I'm running. 2028. I'll be 35 in July of that year. I'll be 35 in that year, 2028. Me as president of the United States. And we are going to make the American dream rise from the ashes like the big phoenix that it is and keep America as perfect as it should be. No more racism, no more sexism, no pretend racism and sexism, only pure, happy, American dream-filled Americans. And if you have a problem with America first, and that you have a situation where you believe that this country is not the greatest ever, there's several other countries you can move to in a heartbeat and say whatever you want. I don't guarantee you the same freedoms of saying whatever the hell you want in those other countries, but by all means, you can do what you're an American. You can move wherever the hell you want. Me, I'm going to come here. I'm going to stay in America, the country I love, the country I praise, the country that's given me so many different amenities. I'm not a man of white privilege. I'm mostly Native American, okay? Even if I did happen to be mostly white and whatnot, I have no privilege, okay? The only kind of privilege is rich privilege. I'm not a rich man, but I am a man of integrity. I'm a man of power, and I'm not a feeble man. I will not let the powers that be force me to do anything that they don't want me to do. Okay? I will be what I need to be, and I will do what I need to do for this country. So that's how that's going to be. All right. So that's the end of this podcast. I'll see you in the next episode sometime next week. It's either going to be another Taking Back comedy, or it's going to be what I originally intend to do, which is analyzing Achilles Files. And we'll do that as a podcast too, where we take a different serial killer and we analyze that. Okay? I will see you later. Have a nice day. Bye.